All right, Coach, how excited are you to kind of tip off this basketball season next week?
I'm extremely excited. It's a great opportunity, fresh start. As you know, everybody's coming off of post-COVID, so looking forward to getting going. All of our guys are ready to go. They're excited as well.
What's it like just when you have everyone pretty much coming back? I mean, this will be the deepest roster you probably have ever coached, maybe at any level, when you look at the amount of guys with experience, amount of scholarship players. How does that kind of change the team dynamic?
You know what, it's been fun. Coaching a lot of guys, the competition's been great in practice every day. I think that's helped us get better. So having that depth has been very important for us. As you said earlier, we've not had that since we've been here, and knock on wood, we're on the basketball court, knock on wood that we stay healthy so we can continue to utilize our depth as well.
You've always prided yourself on defense. What do you want to see your team do better offensively this season?
Well, offensively, we have to be a more specific team from the standpoint of shot selection. I want to see our team understand the value of shot selection. I want to see us take care of the ball a little more. So those are the two things, the areas that we've really focused on this summer and this fall, just taking care of the basketball and making sure we're searching out really good shots.
Speaking of the summer, I mean, how much does that help you that you had a summer, you had strength and conditioning, you had workouts that you didn't have the previous year?
Absolutely. As you said, the previous year was difficult, not having an opportunity, especially for your freshmen and your sophomores, guys who are young, who could really use a summer, could use a fall. I look at Jamil, I look at Isaiah, for example. We did a disservice to all those young kids, and I understand why, because, of course, it's such a, dangerous virus. You want to make sure, guys are safe. Those guys didn't have a summer. I mean, for a guy not to have that, this was their true first summer, and you could see their eyes get wide open when we were working this summer. They realized how much they missed last year. So really happy to have our guys, their ability to get out there and work like that in the off season. I think they've improved. I think we'll all see that because of their ability to spend more time with us.
What jump do you want to see from Isaiah Adams from year one to year two? What jump do you want to see?
I like to see him, continue to play with passion and desire, which is his best talent to me. He just plays so hard. He's so competitive, and he definitely has continued that. His overall skills gotten better, putting the ball on the floor, he's shooting the ball better. Of course, that comes with just, the reps and understanding what you have to work on. And so he's improved in the areas that we want to see him improve in. And can he get better? Absolutely. He's still a work in progress, but he has made significant improvements that I think are going to help his game and help our team.
Coach, having all these guys coming back like you do, does that put more pressure on you guys to perform at obviously a higher level since you don't have that excuse of, a new team type thing?
For me, I'm a big no excuse guy anyway. It doesn't matter if we have 5 guys that can play or we have a full roster. Our standards are our standards. We still want to be successful. We still want to compete for championships, regardless of who we have or our personnel. We just think we're capable of accomplishing those things if we work hard and we work together. So we're excited. The good thing is that we have more depth. They're excited. We can utilize more players in that kind of situation. But no, our standards have remained the same. We've always had the same vision here, and that's to win championships and bring championships to Orlando and to UCF.
What improvements do you expect to see from CJ's game offensively?
I expect to see CJ understand who he is as a player. I mean, people, kind of typecast, athletes, and they want him to be some players that maybe they aren't. I mean, what he is he's an energy guy who plays hard, he defends, he rebounds, he can make an open shot. And that's highly valued. It's highly valued on our level, and it's highly valued on the next level. And if he can just go out there and do those things, play with the same energy and effort he's been playing with all preseason, continue to knock down open shots when he has those opportunities. He's one of the best defensive players. He should be up for a defensive player of the year in our conference type of award. That's the type of player he should be. And if he does those things, we're better. I think it serves who he is as a player because that's playing to his strengths. And when he does that, I think, it just everyone wins in that situation.
Speaking of standards, how would you compare your first season coaching to now?
I couldn't hear you.
Your coaching style, how would you compare it to your first season here to now?
It's been different because we've had to really manage our players our first year. We had 6 and 7 players a lot of times that first year, and it was a special year. We ended up winning 24 games, but it was a real challenging year because of the lack of depth. Now because of the depth, I don't have to worry about my players pacing themselves as much. I knew I had to play guys 35 minutes a night, maybe 40 in some cases. You know, I can remember a number of games, guys are looking over at me like, Coach, I need a sub, and I would just do this. I don't see you. So now it's a little bit different in that regard, where we have more personnel, so there's no reason to kind of jog up the court. There's no reason to kind of go all the way back defensively. We can be a little more assertive, you know, and a little more aggressive, you know, on both sides of the basketball now.
You have an experienced transfer in Mbake coming in center. What will he provide to your team?
You know, another player that brings in a lot of energy and effort. You know, I think that's one of his best things that he does for our team. He just plays so hard. He makes a lot of plays with his energy, and we need that. You know, we want a team that's, you know, we look at ourselves as a blue collar team. You know, that means we're gonna put our hard hat on, and every day we're going to work. And he exemplifies that type of mindset. He comes in every day, he puts his hat on, and we're going to go hard. And so he sets an amazing tone. I mean, for Mbake, he's been voted one of our captains, and he's only been here one summer right now and a little bit of a fall. He's already been voted one of our captains of our team. So that says a lot about who he is as a human being, a lot about his work ethic, and definitely happy that he decided to come and play for us.
Coach, you talked a lot about things that are the same from last year to this year. What's some of the difference between the two seasons that's going to be successful?
I think the difference is the mindset of our guys. I think we grew a lot over the last few years. I mean, the COVID year was very difficult. The season got ended, you know, too soon for us to continue to figure out how good we could be. You know, last season, you know, we had 4 different stoppages or somewhere around there where we had to shut our program down or shut players down, and you're practicing with 5 guys, you know, for a week, and then 2 days later you're practicing with the rest of your team, but you play a game right after that. That's very challenging. So you had to be somewhat lucky last year with regards to your team's success, because of the fact that it could have, any of these teams that went on and had success last year could have had a bad bout of COVID, could have derailed their entire season. You couldn't predict that. And for us, it kind of derailed us during certain portions of the season. So the big difference is having our guys here, having stability with our guys, able to have the practices we're having now. We haven't had any stoppages. All those things, I think, help us to be a more consistent, a more, you know, focused basketball team.
Is this an NCAA caliber tournament team?
You know, I think we are. You know, I think we are. I think we have the potential to be an NCAA team. We have to go out there every night and prove that and earn it. But I do. Like I said, I think our teams, I'm a big believer in all of our teams and their ability to make the NCAA tournament. And it's no different with this team. That's our standard. You know, what is our standard? Championship level standards means you're a tournament team, you know, every year, and that's what we're going to push for.
And you have a promising young freshman point guard, Darius Johnson. What are you seeing in the early going from him?
You know, Darius has been terrific. You know, he still has a learning curve like all young players, but a terrific leader, a really tenacious competitor. You know, kind of reminds me of BJ Taylor, to be quite frank. You know, very similar to BJ in coming in. Just can score the basketball, but knows how to make the players around him better. He has a real good balance to his game, so I've really enjoyed coaching him and watching him grow.
There's just a lot of parity in the league the past couple of years. You know, a couple of wins there, maybe the 3 or 4 teams, maybe the 8 or 9 team. So how would you say the league through the past 5 years has been now 6? How do you change it?
Well, I think it's been a terrific league. You know, I've enjoyed coaching in the league, of course. It's been very competitive. You have great coaches, you have great talent, and that's always going to lend itself to be a terrific league. And then so for us, the biggest difference is I'm watching the more depth of talent, more depth in our league from the standpoint from top to bottom, as you mentioned before. And this year is going to be probably one of the most balanced years I think that I've seen since I've been here, as far as from top to bottom. I look at the players that they're returning, each team. I look at, you know, who they have already on their roster. I mean, it's going to be very competitive. I mean, from top to bottom in this conference. And like I said, you want your conference to be like that. You want it to be competitive from top to bottom, and we're going to get what we want. We're going to get a great conference, which hopefully lends itself to a number of teams having an opportunity to play in the postseason.
And also, your
How much class is Power 5 in men's basketball?
Well, I mean, Power 5, I mean, I generally look at Power 5 more as a football terminology, but in basketball, I think it's still helpful because, you know, as a student athlete, you know, we all are competitive. And when you're competitive, you want to play at the highest level where you think is the highest level you possibly can play. That's human nature. And so with that, you know, I understand it. And so absolutely, by being able to say that, you know, going forward, I think it does help us with regards to any young man that just says, I want to just play against the best competition possible. He's going to look at that as probably the best competition possible. And so I think for that young man, we become more attractive in that kind of situation.
Speaking of best competition around, your non-conference schedule is among the more challenging ones out there. How excited are you to see the other guys begin?
No, we're looking forward to it. We challenge tough every year, as you know. Last year, in this room, and I'm sure a lot of you know this, last year we had the #1 preseason strength of schedule. So we had the #1 strength of schedule last year in the preseason as far as who we decided to play. And this year is going to be no different. I'm excited to play all the teams we have on the schedule. We have a great slate. We open up, we go down to Miami in our second game. Great opportunity to play a terrific team on the road. We go to Auburn. We return that game from here, so that should be an exciting environment. Another great opportunity, great game. We have Oklahoma coming here. What a great opportunity to have them coming here. Great for us. We have, of course, Michigan coming here as well. So another amazing opportunity. And then we play Florida State on a neutral. So, again, this is how we want to schedule. I think my players and I think our community, they want to see us in games like that. They want to see us playing these type of opponents. And so we try our best to schedule them, and I'm just happy it really worked out well for us these last several years, and we will always continue to try to do that.
Obviously a couple years from now, but what do you think the Big 12 does for this program? You talked about, fans want to see big games, but it doesn't get any better than the #1 conference in college basketball.
Oh, absolutely. How about that, right? I think over the last, 3 out of 5 years or 4 out of 5 years, it's been rated the #1, basketball conference in the country. I love that. I come from that, as a player and as a coach. And so for me, I'm excited. And I'm sure our players, our student athletes will be equally excited to play in those type of environments, to go play, on the road in some of those environments, to have those teams come here. And we represent really well in Orlando, and our student body and our supporters come out and give us a great, great crowd as well. So really looking forward to those opportunities.
Johnny, the Big 12 to UCF move was announced. Bob Bolster, the commissioner, actually shouted you out during the press conference. I believe he hired you at Stanford, called you a good friend. What is your relationship with him, and are you looking forward to working with him in the future?
No, absolutely. Bob and I go way back, of course. I worked for him when I was at Stanford for almost a decade. Well, he left a little earlier than that, of course, because he ended up getting a job as the commissioner of the Big 12. But, we had a great relationship. He's a terrific man, a brilliant man. And, I learned a lot from him. He was a great mentor for me, and he's still a terrific friend as of now. So just, excited. I didn't know he gave me a shout out because I wasn't at the press conference, but I really appreciate him doing that. But that's who he is. He's a terrific man. I think we're going to a great conference with great leadership, because that's what he is, a terrific leader. And really looking forward to that opportunity when that comes. But right now, we're just focused on what we can do in the American and putting our best foot forward and seeing if we can't do something special here.
A couple more questions for Coach, guys.
Coach, obviously you mentioned that the fans is the goal. But what's something else that could happen? What's something else you'd like to see that you can hang your hat on, like if it happens, this is really successful?
Well, we view success, of course, NCAA tournament, making deep runs, that's terrific. But the main thing we look for from our student athletes is their overall growth. Their success from the standpoint on and off the court. Are they developing as not just really, really good basketball players, but are they developing as good men? Are they going to be guys that understand the value of working together as a team? The value of sacrificing for one another. Because these are values that we're going to take well beyond our playing days. We're going to take these values into life. And I think our student athletes have a chance to be terrific leaders in our communities, wherever we are from or wherever we go, because of the experience of being in team sport. And so that's what we really want our guys. Ultimately, we want to see our guys be successes in life. Like I always tell our players when they come here, it's not a 4-year decision when you come to UCF, it's a 40-year decision. We're going to walk with you for the rest of your life. There's never a time where you won't be able to pick that phone up and call us and get a response and hear what we have to say or thoughts on something you may have a question about. And so we're going to be there for them. And so if we can see our guys grow throughout the year, not just with wins and losses, but grow with who they are as young men in the classroom, and on our campus. These are things that we look for, and we want to see growth in those areas, because that's when we know we're really doing our job and doing our job well.
Darren Green in his third year now. What are you seeing from him as you get ready for the season?
I'm excited for Darren, like I am for all of our players. The thing I've loved with Darren is he's just such a professional. His work ethic, how he approaches the game is how you end up becoming very successful at it. He comes in every day. He's focused on what he wants to do to get better. He works at it. And he allows us to coach him. When you have those kind of, mindset, that type of mindset, you have no way other than to be successful. So really excited for what he's doing. He's improved as a player because he's worked really hard this offseason. He's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger. He's continued to overall round out his game. And so that's been fun to watch.
Coach, you mentioned your past earlier on with Dylan Patrick there. Somebody else in your past has announced that this year's going to be a strong song. Coach K, speak a bit about that and what he thinks that he needs to the game and what his last season kind of needs to do.
Well, I'm still shocked, to be honest. I can't believe he's retiring. I had him going for at least another 5 or 10 years. A great man, a mentor of mine, a great friend of mine, and he's going to be missed. I love the way he's done it. I like the way he's going to be sent, how we're going to send him off. Kind of a farewell year. I think everybody gets a chance to celebrate him and his accomplishments. I had a chance about 3 weeks ago. I was with him in New York and with a number of people from the Olympic experience, as well as a lot of friends from Duke. And we had a chance to kind of just celebrate him and talk to him and catch up. And even then, I'm sitting there looking at him going, I can't believe this is going to be it. Because I just never imagined him not being on the bench at Duke. And so, but change happens, and we're excited about that. But definitely excited about his year and his experience, and he's meant a lot to this game.
Coach, I think you got one more question in the back here.
Two questions back over here from UCF basketball. You have a player by the name of Isaiah Adams. I want to know, how do you feel
Isaiah Adams. Didn't I answer Isaiah Adams' question earlier? But let me answer this again. Well, I think Isaiah Adams has a chance to be a terrific player. I mean, the sky's the limit with who he can be. His work ethic is second to none. I love the way he practices and competes. As I said earlier, no one goes in when it's time to compete goes any harder than Isaiah does. He gives you everything he has on the floor, and that's why he's going to be a terrific player here and beyond. As he continues to develop, continues to round out his game, like I said before, I think the sky's the limit for where he can play at. I think he can be great on our level. I think he's a next level player. It's just a function of him just going through the process, continuing to stay hungry and continuing to work.
I got a question. So I know you've been coaching for a while. You always say you're coaching more than you play basketball. So you had the opportunity to coach with a lot of players. So who's your favorite walk-on you ever coached?
Favorite walk-on I ever coached? That's a hard one, see, because if I say Levy, then Ryan's gonna be pissed at me. If I say Ryan, then Levy's gonna be pissed. But since I don't see Ryan, Levy's my favorite walk-on that I've ever coached.
Well said, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.